And we are live. The Real Money Coach Show here on Tuesday evening. Y'all know how we do. Put in the chat where you are watching from, what part of the country, what part of the state, what part of the world, what continent you happen to be on. Just put it in the chat so that we know that you're there. Kimberly, thank you for being first to check in tonight from Charlotte, North Carolina. So we got Charlotte in the house, and I know there's others. I see y'all numbers coming in, but y'all got to put in the chat, let us know where you are so we can greet you, say hello, and all that good stuff. I know you missed us last week. Right? So last week, and I'll talk about it a little bit when my co-host comes on. Last week, I hosted a seminar at the Top Golf, and we had a ball. I had a great time. Janice, the Rainmaker League from Maryland, is in the house as well. Janice, good always to have you and your support for the show. So we're excited about some great things that are coming. I don't know. I don't think that we've had a show since the election, but maybe we'll talk about it. Maybe we won't. Who knows? But let me do this. Let me bring my co-host on this evening, and Michelle Mitchell, Mrs. Michelle Mitchell from Mitchell Consulting, all the way from Kalamazoo, Michigan. Michelle, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Good.
Michelle, what's the weather like? Is it cold?
Today was about 60 in rain. Yeah, not bad. But there's snow in the forecast.
No.
Yeah.
You know I gotta come to Michigan.
I know you do.
I don't want no snow when I come though.
I don't think it's gonna be very much, but yeah.
And then
it's in the forecast. It's typical.
in the forecast. Yeah. It's Michigan. It's
Michigan.
November. It's gonna snow.
It's November, exactly.
That's what it do.
It's what it do.
What it's
Yep.
So.
Yep.
So how's everything on your end? Anything going on for this Q4 that's closing out for you?
Closing out Q4. We're doing cleanup for people who have businesses who have neglected their finances all year. So we have a Black Friday offer coming out for cleanup. And then starting out the new year, I will be teaching a workshop called Cash Flow is Queen Accelerator. So we're going to go through a 6-week process of figuring out your budget and cash flow. So I'm excited about that.
Shout out to Alice Martin for checking in with us as well. So you said cash flow is queen?
Queen. That's right.
I like that. Cash flow is queen.
Because she reigns, right?
She reigns. And we're in the Queen City. Come on. Right. So that's great. And budgeting and all that is so important. People don't realize how drastic that is. And just going, finishing strong in Q4, whether it's your business, your sales, or whatever you have going on, plus getting your records right and all that kind of stuff so that we can do what we need to do. And of course, we've had another fall in interest rates, and so that's going to pose some opportunities for folks as the Feds continue to do that.
Yes.
What happens next year and what happens with this thing we call inflation and all that good stuff. But you got to be prepared.
You do have to be prepared. Yes.
So, well, Michelle, last Tuesday night we had our golf Top Golf retirement seminar. And it actually was really awesome. We had a great time. The food was delicious.
Was it?
Their catering at Top Golf, people thought
I experienced it, so I know it was good.
Oh, that's right, because you came to the one that we had.
Yeah.
So we had brisket. We had it was a great menu. Had a great time. Great turnout, and people enjoyed themselves, got educated,
good
stuff. And so we're going to continue to
appointments on the calendar.
Well, let me tell you something about appointments on the calendar. We had 13 appointments on the calendar,
Okay.
and still a few more coming in. And so yeah, I was just overall pleased. We'll see from a business perspective how things go down. But
Right.
my one part that I really enjoyed was the customer appreciation piece, right?
Mm.
Because it
Mhm.
also serves customer appreciation. And our friends from Popcorn Stars,
Oh,
um,
yes.
so they made popcorn uh,
Nice.
that I gave out to current customers. And
Nice.
guess what the popcorn was called?
Um, it has something to do with money for
Yeah,
sure.
it was the money mix. The
The
money
money mix. Okay.
money mix
I
popcorn.
love it.
Uh,
Your signature popcorn.
my signature popcorn, the money
Yeah,
mix. And
I
so
love it.
that was pretty cool. And
Yeah.
and I'm very appreciative. And and I was just thinking about Alice and some others too. We're gonna have to do one of these um like in the day, or for like
Yeah.
seniors that don't like to be out at night and that type of
Yeah.
thing. And
Yeah.
so yeah, so we're looking forward to doing a few more of these in 2025. Speaking of planning,
Yeah. Yeah.
all that good stuff. So
Yeah. You gotta do the planning, because if you don't know what direction you're going in, how you gonna get there? How you
well,
gonna hit your target?
and then my thing too is that you also want to mix it up and do some new things, right?
Yes.
And I
Mhm.
would say even in your personal life,
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely.
even of course, as a business, we want to do things new. We want to try new things, reach new
Mhm.
people. Um, but I think even in your personal life, just try new things.
Yeah.
Um, and so I think it's always good to kind of mix it up a little bit. And
Yeah, I agree with that. This week I had to complete my 30-month survey for completing the Goldman Sachs 10K small business program.
okay,
And it asked a question about funding. Like, have you sought out funding? And I'm like, no. And they were like, why? Why haven't you sought out funding? Because that's what we taught you to do. And that's what you need to grow.
yes.
I'm like, but I don't need it. But they're like, but you're not growing the way you want to. So
So you got to
are
make
you sure?
an investment,
So
right?
you got to shake it up, right?
Right.
So now I'm like, okay, going into 2025.
But talking about that though, Michelle,
Mhm.
so many of us, we are so used to bootstrapping it, right? We're
Yes, we
used to
are.
doing it. We're used to,
Mhm.
and we're used to making, just making it work. We
Yeah,
just
we just
make it
make it
work.
work, right?
We just make
Yeah.
it work.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
we have been for years, we haven't had access to capital.
Right.
And so we've learned how to survive without that access.
True. Mhm.
But sometimes we got to say, okay, wait a minute. Now that it's
Yes.
available, now that I have my stuff together,
Yes, yes.
now maybe it makes sense for me to do some of that.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So I got to look at that and really consider it to shake
mhm.
up 2025.
Well, 2025, y'all, is going to be a great year, and I'm telling you, this is fact, right? And I know many people were disappointed about the election and all that kind of stuff, and it is what it is, right?
It is what it is.
So I was surprised.
Yes.
I thought that Kamala would have done better,
Mhm.
but it is what it is. And so now that we know what we
All
know,
the cards are on the table.
the cards are on the table.
Yeah.
Now, one thing about this audience, Michelle, they
I
can't
know.
be surprised because
No,
we spent 6 weeks
we
talking
spent
about
6
Project
weeks.
2025.
Yes, we
We
did.
spent
Mhm.
6 weeks talking about some of the things that are in there that are going to be accelerated,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Um, but I have always said this: if I know the rules of the game, I can.
Yep. You can play the game.
It's just when you don't know,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
So the blueprint has been published,
It has been,
and
and
so
they are executing on the blueprint real fast. So
absolutely,
we already know what it is.
so
So get your own house in order,
right.
right?
So stop playing checkers and
Yes.
start playing chess.
Yes, and start playing chess and be strategic about what you're doing
Right.
in your
So
personal life and your business. So, yeah.
100%.
Mhm.
100%. So I guess that's one key message tonight. Get your house in order.
There you go. Yeah.
But Michelle, listen, tonight we have a wonderful guest that's going to come on tonight, Tiffany Vinson, and she has a remarkable story of triumph and all those types of things. And so, when I think about the landscape and you think and we see someone like her and she's going to share her story, it's like if you can't overcome these
Mhm.
little things,
Yeah.
right? So I'm
Right.
looking forward to being inspired and all that good stuff. And so let's make it happen. And I
Yeah.
also just want to just put a shout out to my family in honor of my nephew who
Mhm.
passed yesterday.
Yeah.
So I want to do that tonight too. Um, so that's where we are. We're going to take a couple commercial breaks, and we're going to come back with our guests, and we're going to have a wonderful chat tonight.
Yeah, we will.
You guys are watching The Real Money Coach live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, all of that.
Yeah.
Let's take
Podcasts, all of it.
all of it.
Do you have passion for your business but feel like your finances are falling short? Running a business takes more than a great idea. It takes a solid financial plan. Mitchell Consulting can help you turn your passion into profit with their financial advisory services. Get the financial guidance your business needs. Contact Mitchell Consulting to learn more about their passion to profit capabilities.
Take control of your finances today with The Real Money Coach. Our free financial wellness checkup offers personalized insights and strategies to secure your financial future. Don't miss out on the clarity and confidence you deserve. Visit www.therealmoneycoach.com now. That's www.therealmoneycoach.com right now to start your journey towards financial freedom. Your future self will thank you.
All right, Michelle,
All
for
right.
those who are listening to the podcast, maybe on one of the podcasting channels, how do they get a hold of you?
Sure. You can go to mitchellconsultingservice.com and click on the book now appointment.
There you go.
Yeah.
And you all know to reach the Real Money Coach, just go to therealmoneycoach.com. And I challenge you to do one or two things or both. Take our financial wellness checkup. So there's a financial wellness checkup there. And the one that I really want you to do is go to the retirementtaxbill.info. Find out exactly what that retirement tax bill is going to be so we can start working on how to mitigate it. All right, Michelle, are we ready? Are we ready for our guest
Yeah.
tonight? Listen, she is Tiffany Vinson. She's Atlanta-based entrepreneur, motivational speaker, MS ambassador, host of Conversations with Tiffany, The Turning Point. Tiffany's goal is to help people uncover their true power. All right, I like that already. Realize that sometimes life's biggest challenges reveal the biggest rewards. She's a former flight attendant, former banking and finance professional who had to rely on her faith and unwavering determination to overcome the challenges associated with being diagnosed with MS in her 20s. And she is Mrs. Tiffany Vinson. Tiffany, welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Thank you all. Thank you for having me. Again, I want to thank you, Tony and Michelle, for having me on your show. I want to also, first off, send out my condolences to you and your family on behalf of your nephew. My heart and prayers are going to be with you all throughout this time. Wow, that intro was a lot, man. You got me crying. I'm about to get cried up early. I'm like, oh my God.
I didn't even hit it all because we want to hear some of it straight, as they say, straight from the horse's mouth. We want to hear it directly from you, right?
Okay,
From
yes.
you've been doing and a little bit about your journey, which seems absolutely amazing to me. So you're in Atlanta. Are you originally from Atlanta? Did you grow up there?
I was born in Macon, Georgia. And so lived there for a little bit and then moved to Atlanta, was in DeKalb County, and then moved back to Warner Robins, Georgia, which was a big shakeup for me because I went from predominantly Black school and then went to a predominantly white school. And, you know, they were playing Dixie and stuff. And so we had to make that adjustment. However, everything comes to serve you. So in that midst of that, I was able to learn how to deal with diversity, how to deal with different people who thought differently, who were raised differently. And then we had a mix of the military people there because it's Warner Robins is an Air Force base. So you had those who were flown abroad, who were able to go and see different things. So you had the mix of everything that you needed. Again, came to serve me. Silver linings is really
about Macon was kind of a military town too, right? Is there?
It used to be a army. It was Army base. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Before my time now.
Well, I thought maybe what do they call a military brand? I thought maybe that your parent or
no, I was not a military brand. No, my father was military, but that was long before I was even born. So yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about, what you do today. I mean,
it's so amazing because today I host conversations with Tiffany. And the reason for that is that my grandmother, I always reference my grandmother who's gone on to heaven, 22 years now. I host conversations with Tiffany, the turning point, because my grandmother was a woman who lived her life with intention. She loved God. But she's also a woman who was shot 5 times by my grandfather prior to me being born.
Wow.
And so in the midst of that, I never saw my grandmother complain or wallow in a situation. She was a woman who raised her children from her bedside. She had our store, and I mean a full-blown candy store in her 2-bedroom apartment. She would have like the Frito-Lay trucks pull up, the Coke trucks pull up. And she was doing inventory by the bed. She had her store open from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. And it was a place where she would have interaction with the mothers and the children who were coming in. Never had anyone steal from her. And she would host her Bible study sessions on Tuesdays because she knew on Wednesdays everybody was going to the church. So she would always have them on Tuesdays. And I always reference that, because that's how she was able to extend her gift and reach it out per turning her point. That was a turning point in her life, but she never turned it back into herself. She turned it out positively into the world. And so that's why I host conversations. I host conversations with people who may face mental, physical, social, financial, and challenges, yet they don't wallow in that thing. They do the work. And then that was a turning point, and that thing triggered them to be able to work on what they need to do. And a lot of times, God's already given us the gifts that we already have. It's already something that you already had. So when you tap into it, you're like, I'm good with that money, or I'm good with that hair. I'm good at this. I'm writing that book. I can sing. I can't carry a note. But for those who can, they tap into that thing and then they project it out. And so in those conversations, I realized that it's not about me. It's about what they're giving and how they're showing and sharing light into the world. And so that's where a lot of my life, it does more counseling and everything to me than anything else. And I think that now more than ever, we need to be connected and know that on any level, someone can be touched and reached.
Yeah. And we need to have some great, honest conversations too. I think that's awesome. And I want to just jump on something that you said there. You talked about your grandmother and how she was shot 4 times. I think you said 4 or 5. 5 times. And, we're just coming out of direct domestic violence awareness month in October. And so I just want to give a shout out to all those who are working in that area in terms of helping women mostly, but also men who are in domestic violence situations. We have some wonderful organizations. Tony Porter with the Call to Men,
Awesome.
Marguerite Lee, she has Beauty for Ashes, and they're focused on just helping people in those areas. So
Awesome.
because unfortunately, the story you just told of your grandmother, briefly as you mentioned that, there's other. It's not as uncommon as we might think.
Right.
And if you are fortunate enough, like myself, to never lived in an environment where domestic violence was taking place,
Come on.
I'm just blessed to have been in a loving, caring home.
Right.
And
Right.
you don't realize what's going on in the rest
Exactly.
of the world.
Exactly.
Right? So thank God for sheltering me from it. But
Right.
as I'm older and talk in ministry and stuff, we realize that there's a lot of people out there that are hurting and who have been abused, and
That's
sometimes it's right under our nose, and we don't know.
And you don't know.
Exactly. We don't know. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
And I love that. I have resources.
all scars aren't visible, right?
No,
Right.
they're not. No, they're not. And just because you see me in my wheelchair, handy dandy wheelchair, most people look and go, oh, and I don't want all. And I think that those who are dealing with the domestic, they don't want all. They need what they need and support in that way, but never a all girl. And so that's again one of the things I think that when I had the transition with living diagnosed with the multiple sclerosis and never took ownership of that. It's not mine.
Right.
I don't have this. It is a diagnosis. And so from that, I'm able to then shift it and project it to something else. I do believe that in this moment, will I be in this chair forever? I don't know. Only God knows. But while I'm in here, he's got me seated and I'm positioned, and I'm going to use my gift at this position. And I'm going to do my best while I'm here to encourage and inspire others. Because again, just because you're in a chair doesn't mean that you can't move. You got people who are able to move and still not inspired. And you have people who are in here. And I don't adopt the word disability. That's one of my big words. I'm really big on words, you all. Like Michelle, Tony, I'm really big on words. Dis is DIS. It's always before something positive. Disable, dis-ease, discomfort.
Yeah.
Cut it out. This ability is adjustability, because in any situation, whether you're in a wheelchair or you're standing, you're walking, you're dealing with financial issues, we all have to make the necessary adjustments. And that's when I call adjustability is the new disability, if you're going to put it that way.
Yeah.
You know, I love that. I love that.
I love it.
We're going to take the DIS off of these words.
Take it off.
That's right.
I am actually working to fight with Congress to do that. I know that Bush signed that bill in 1994 for the ADA to do that. I am advocating, and I'm at the Congress. I'm emailing because I want to be able to change that. I think that a word, again, shifts a whole personality and shifts a change. And if you can tell a person that you can adjust, I may not be able to drive like I normally do. I may have to do another way. I may not be able to walk those stairs like everyone else, but I can get on that ramp or I can get on that elevator. I'll get there and I'll meet you there.
Yeah.
I see you. I love worry about that, right?
I ain't worried about it.
I'm coming.
Even when I go to the beach, when I go to Mexico, we got beach wheelchairs. I'm like, there's nothing. It's all in our mind.
In your mind.
Yeah. And if we can conquer those words and we can shift that, no matter what goes in that White House, I got to know what's going on in my house.
Right.
You all said earlier, I can't be swayed. And I have to mention this. And I know this is girl. Oh, y'all.
Okay, come on with it.
I was literally September 11, 2001. I had just had my son August 11, 2001. My baby boy is 23 years old. Okay. As a flight attendant, I said, oh, not going back. Y'all remember what happened? September 11th. Okay.
Yeah.
Then I worked in banking. Traditional banking. It was bougie. I was working for a bougie bank. And then they didn't want to shake my hand. They didn't want to talk to me about mortgages because, who was she? That's okay. I wished over to the other side. And then they didn't want to talk to me because they're like, she talked funny. So, you know, I had to figure it out. And then I found my way in that place. And then I went into finance because I was like, oh, this is different. But then I'm sitting in finance, those interest rates are so high. They hurt. They hurt. Even with extra credit, you got 18, 19, 20%.
Yeah.
So of course that hurts, right? But then I had to learn how to maneuver that thing and how to fix that thing for my clients. So let's just go ahead, because you can't go to the traditional bank where I came from with that rate or with that right. So let's just pay these things off. You do this, get a credit restoration. Let's move these things out. I partner with attorneys. But then that thing happened in 2008. Y'all remember what happened?
Yeah.
What happened in 2008, y'all? Testify.
Crisis. Yeah.
The financial crisis. Yeah.
Yes. So guess what? The corporate said before the crisis, give them $15,000 unsecured. I said, yeah, nah.
Right.
Because they were getting pocketed, right? They were getting their money, right? So I would say, no, I'm going to pay this off for you. You're going to do this. And this is how we're going to do this thing. Because I knew it was going to pop. The people in the front lines, they know it always up front. The people up top don't care because they're getting their money.
Yeah.
And then when the bailout happened, who got the money?
Right. The people at the top.
You know how it works. Right.
Okay. So then I had to then turn around to my customers who were coming to me and saying, look, one man couple called Monday, he was let go. Wednesday, his wife was let go.
Wow.
How about this? We're going to refinance thing. You're going to take that money. You're going to take this refinance money. You're going to go to the attorney. You're going to file your BK to save your house and your car. And then we're going to talk about that credit restoration. And we're going to come back. They took care of me and I took care of them. So I tell people, the only reason why I say this is because whether you're in a position, whether you're in a job, whatever you're doing, you do it with excellence. I don't care if you're passing out fries. I don't care if you're hanging out clothes in the local Walmart. You do it with a level of expectancy because you never know how your word, your day, what you're doing is going to impact someone else. And one of my things, my best friend, he always tells me, your clients loved you. Even when the crisis, they were coming into you because they trusted you. It was no longer just, I pay my bill monthly. I connected with them. And I think that more now than ever.
You cared.
You cared. Right.
You cared.
That's what I'm saying, Michelle.
Yeah.
And so if we care, and if we say we care, then it should show in everything you do.
It should.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
In everything.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah.
It's really about, if you chase excellence, everything that you want in life will chase you. I mean, it's just about being the very best. And when you care, that will come through.
It will.
If you take someone who's very skilled at what they do, and you take someone who cares, and you put those two things together, very, very dynamic, right?
Very dynamic.
And you get to the point where it's not about you, right?
No.
Yes.
And I always say this, it's like, even many of the things I do, some people will take what I do and they will go and they'll do it with somebody else, right?
Right.
It's okay with me.
Yeah.
It's okay with me because I've never seen the righteous forsaken.
Come on.
Right.
Or seed begging bread. If you do right by people, it will always come back to you. It would always. God will take care of you.
He will,
without a doubt. I just believe that to my soul.
Yes.
And I believe that even further. Let's just even say this: you take a step. He only needs you to take that step.
Yep.
He's not going to lay it all out for you because there's some things that you're going to be working towards and you just like, I don't know. It's not for you to know. All you got to do is have faith and you got to trust that God's going to deliver. He's going to position people in your life to be able to do those things. My friend here, my best friend, Tamika Avery's on here. We can tell the journey out. I was going to Mexico at the time I was hosting. I had my travel agency and I was just feeling a ways, right? For those people who say, oh, she's so chipper. She doesn't ever have a moment. She doesn't have. Let me tell you, I have moments.
Right.
In 2022, I was working doing my physical therapy, y'all. I was in there, right? And they said, listen, you're going to need to make 70 steps. My husband bought me some grip socks because we've got the floors in the living room. And so I didn't want to slip around. So I was like, okay, babe, in my head, I'm like, babe, I'm going to get these 70 steps. I didn't tell him that, but in my head, I'm ready to get these steps. First day I did 40 steps. All right, so that night we're ready. Still had the grip socks on the carpet, y'all. Ankle broke,
Oh
split
no.
into two around the back. Now, I had already been through something with the MS and had lost my vision for 7 days. And that's one thing I can tell you about. But and God restored me in that place, right? And that was a great place. God, ooh, he's so awesome. But in this place, where I was doing the work and I was heading towards that thing, and I hit that floor, and my husband was like ready to scoop me and just like, go, let's go. I hit that floor and I was hitting it, pounding it. And I was like, I'm going to be honest. I said the F word. Bop, bop, bop. I'm going to be honest. Real.
Yeah.
And he was like, whoa. He was like, he's like, I'm trying to get you up. I said, I need to feel this. And the reason why I said that was because this is the lowest I will ever go.
Yeah.
This is a pain that I'll never have. And this is from a woman who rolled into the nurse, for the labor and delivery, requesting medicine from the nose down. I only want to do like this, left, right. I ain't want to. So them give me a little reference. For a woman who don't want to feel nothing from nose down, right? That moment, I needed to feel that pain. Was because I needed to be able to relate to someone who's in that low place.
Yeah.
And so I honestly, that September, having to transition, it's already hard to walk with a cane. And in that, you're like, okay, now I'm going in this wheelchair. And then that's another thing, okay? But now I gotta now wear adult diapers. Wow. My husband gotta help me.
Oh.
My best friends gotta help me. I gotta go to Mexico without my husband. Oh no. And my best friend said, oh yeah, the heck you are. And she didn't say heck. Yeah, oh yeah, the heck you are. Because I wanted to take myself out. I thought I can't take anything else. But it was just a reminder on that mission where we were. I was at an event, and it was where it shifted for me. I had a photographer, a photo shoot, and he was there and he spoke a word to me. And I was like, my purpose. My purpose. I needed this. I needed this. This travel company needed this, where I was just like, oh, I want to just do all inclusive resorts, getaways. Then it refocused and it retracked. There are people who are in wheelchairs who need this.
Yes.
Yeah.
They need this. And so you're the one who can do that. So everything comes, when I say this, to say that everything comes to serve us. And I know that sounds crazy and I said it sounds cliche, but if you look back on a lot of things that you've gone through, he already positioned things to happen and it lined it all the way up. And when you look back, you go, oh my God.
That's what you were doing.
Yeah,
Lord, you kind of strategic. That's why I like that.
Right. Because if he were to just say, okay, Michelle, girl, your business is gonna be great. You got the funding, you good. And now here it is, your position, you taking that thing, and then you're saying, oh, but my funding can be even more because and God can even expand your territory even larger.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's how he works, right?
Right. It's so important too, because like I said, even as we're going into unknown territory and all this stuff, I mean, one thing about Black folks, one thing about us, one thing about women entrepreneurs, is that we have learned how to survive.
Yes, we are resilient.
We're resilient. We can be tenacious, right?
Tenacious. Yes.
And don't play with a woman.
So now, when some people are panicking, oh, what's going to happen? It's like, it's going to be all right because we have experience being oppressed. We have experience trying to keep us down. And the one thing that I've been telling people all the time, God is still on the throne.
He is still on the throne.
Can you say that again? Because somebody in the back, they in the bathroom, they couldn't hear you because they were getting out of the shower. Would you say it?
He's still on the throne. He's still on the throne. Regardless, and you said something too. I like how you said it. I like how it sounded. You said, regardless of who's in the White House, you got to take care of your house.
Your house. Yes.
Your house, right?
That's it.
And so how can a man rule the house of God well and he can't rule his own house?
Right.
And so we have to make sure that we're doing what we need to do. And everything is going to be all right.
It will.
It is.
It
It's
will.
going to be okay.
Yes, and you speak that to yourself. Even in the morning when I wake up, I'm like, ooh, besides looking over and going, my hubby's helping me, waking me up and stuff. I'm like, ooh, thank you, God. I'm just grateful. I'm grateful because it doesn't have, it could be a lot worse. Situations could be what it be.
Yeah.
I want to know about your husband.
Oh, Travis Vinson, my man.
Yeah. Sound like my kind of guy.
He is that guy. I'm very fortunate. We've been married for 24 years. And a long story short, I manifested this man.
Ooh.
My grandmother, everything great, I'm telling you. I was in a 2-year relationship. Well, I thought it was a relationship. We're going to just say situationship.
Situation.
It was a situationship. You know, you date him, but he ain't really dating you. He dating other people.
Right.
We ain't going to go there. We digress. And I remember just crying because I'm like, man. And then my grandma said, well, you really think about it, baby. You never really brought him around. So you knew at some point that he wasn't that man because you knew he wasn't that. And she said, I want you to be very specific about it, the type of qualities that you want in a man. And I was like, oh, he got to be this. And she said, baby, not what he looked like. His qualities. I'm like, I want him chocolate. I want him basketball bill. You know, I'm like, that's superficial. Okay. That's superficial. Let's not front, ladies. Don't act like y'all don't do it. And I had to write down the qualities. I wanted him to be a family man. I wanted him to be really good with money. I wanted him to be faithful. I wanted him to have all these, you know, just love sports because I like sports. So all these different things. And so that was on a Thursday. My grandmother wrote it all down. And then he called me on a Saturday. My best friend, one of my close friends, she got married. So he called me that Saturday. And I was like, oh my gosh, I hadn't talked to him in forever. My stepmother actually introduced us years ago before that. And I was like, So he came, he's like, you just put me off. Like, no. So he came over that Sunday and we were together ever since. He helped my mama bring that box of Mrs. Winter's in. And we used to have Mrs. Winter church fried chicken there all the time. And he never left. And 6 months later, he proposed. And we've been married, 2 boys, men later. And of course, we have adversity. We deal with all different things. He is a stronghold. He's an educator. Been educator for 21 years, going into leadership role. And I'm so very proud of him because he's a man who's the strong, silent type. He's not a big talker. And this past weekend before, we did the MS Summit, the Black MS, and they asked for him to be on panel. And I was like, oh, that's going to be a hard ask. So I had to do some praying. I had to do sweet talk, baby. I had to sweet talking. But he came on panel and it was good because men wanted to know how do you stand in for your wife and how do you support your wife in this? And he was able to talk about that. So Travis Vinson is he's a strong, silent type. And we're, we all have in relationships, we were like, oh, is it rainbows and clouds? No. If there weren't any adversity, how could you appreciate what you already have?
Right.
Absolutely.
Can we say that?
Yeah.
Well, tell him thank you for representing his brothers well.
Right.
Oh, he is representing. He is definitely doing that. I will let him know.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And that's the other thing. I think Black love is so special. Love
is.
Right? And so Michelle's been married a few years, and
a few years.
How many years, Michelle?
32.
Woo! Honey.
Yes.
Happy feelings in
yes.
They've been hanging out for a long time.
Oh, and so have you.
Actually married a lot longer than my wife and I have. So.
Really?
Yes.
How long have you been your wife?
6 weeks.
They got married 6 weeks before we did.
Really? That's so awesome, y'all. Congratulations.
And so the Mitchells and the Jacksons have done life together. I mean,
yes.
we've cried together. We've
have
celebrated together. That's what the community and relationships are
Mhm.
all about.
It
And
is.
It
we've
is.
supported each other,
That's right.
and through all of it, right?
Through all of it.
Through all
That's
of it. So
amazing.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
when the
love
Lord,
that.
and I see you have your great friend Tamika, when the Lord puts somebody in your life,
Yes.
you
She
talking
is.
about, he said that I'll be closer to you than a brother.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and sometimes what he does is he puts another person, he puts himself in that person in
Yeah.
order to be that close to you.
He does.
Yes.
Right?
He does.
So, you
He
know,
does. And I have to also not forget to mention my mother, who's
mm,
also pivotal. She
Yeah.
always wanted to be a teacher, educator, and she owned a salon for so many years. And then she just said, at 43, you all are grown. I'm going back. I'm going to get my education.
Awesome.
And we were like, okay, mommy. And mommy's like, okay. And so now she's Dr. Rogers.
Oh.
Yes.
wow.
Wow.
Mommy did
Awesome.
that. She was
She
always the
did
one.
that thing.
Yes, she did. She was the oldest. She supported her mother. She was a caregiver. She's always been that person. And she's a good person. She's a great leader.
Go ahead,
Um,
Dr. Roger.
yeah, Dr. Rogers is that
Yeah.
woman. She's that woman. And God bless my father who passed on, my bonus father who passed on. He still is the love of her life. And so he was the example of how a man is supposed to treat.
Yeah.
And luckily my husband was like, oh, we call him Big Papa. Big
Mm.
Papa showed him how. And
Mm.
so it's really good that my boys who are 23 and 22 who are still home are able to see how you're able to adjust in any situation, in relationship with mommy's situation, with how we deal with conflict, how we resolve conflict, how we come up with something. We have to be level-headed. We can't be
Right.
learn how to put boundaries in place to protect your peace, because everybody can't be in there.
Girl.
Y'all, come on now.
Talk about it.
Come on, Michelle. What you know about it? What you know about it?
Girl.
Man, that is serious.
You got to protect your peace.
You
Got to.
You have to.
And it's one thing to say that, and then people are like, well, what does that mean? That seems you're so selfish. You just seem
No,
like
it doesn't.
you're not
Because
being
I'm
very
minding my own
compassionate.
business. I'm minding my business, not yours. Right.
But Michelle, I need to talk to you, girl, because see what you said made me feel.
Why I've been married for 32 years.
So when you direct yourself and when you
Yes.
do that with intention, I think that also, that's how God is able to keep you right here
In alignment.
focus, in
Focus.
alignment.
Keep in line, alignment.
And that's why I said it's that turning point. Yeah.
I want to just ask you a couple questions, right? So
Ooh.
as we're winding down here, right?
Yes, sir.
I told you we said that,
Yep.
30 now, we
It happens every week.
Someone's watching tonight, right?
Yes.
Someone's watching tonight, and they're feeling discouraged, right? They're feeling discouraged maybe because of a physical ailment, maybe they're discouraged because of something. What message would you have for that person this evening? What is the Spirit's telling you to share with them tonight?
I want them to breathe. Take a breathe in. Relax. And know and look for what this is teaching you, what this diagnosis, what this circumstance is teaching you. Because I know for me, a lot of things that I held up, it showed up in my body.
Mm-hmm.
So if it means I need to push back from that table of eating all that fried fish, then maybe I need to stop. Maybe the tequila and the margarita spot at Mexican restaurant, I need to cut back on. I need to increase my water. Maybe I need to put those boundaries up to not allow people to say things. So what I would say to you is it's time for you to make that self-assessment and to pour back into yourself. And then get with your physicians, your mental physicians, your spiritual physicians together to work that thing out. Don't think that I have the diagnosis or I'm waiting on my healing, so I refuse to do these other things.
Right.
A lot of people do that, and I get that a lot of times. I'm waiting on my healing, so I ain't taking no medicine. I'm waiting on my God has already given you, and He's already provided those things. And whatever you find to connect to bring you to that peace, if it's lighting a candle, if it's singing a song, if it's looking outside the window, if it's hugging a tree, whatever brings you peace, you connect to that and let that be what guides you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yes. Awesome.
You all are.
The turning point.
Mm-hmm.
The turning point.
It is.
Yep.
It is.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
if it doesn't align, I decline. That's the whole thing.
Right?
I'm in the process of getting that trademark. If it doesn't align, I decline.
Yeah.
The turning point, because it has to be directed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you take that position, it goes in any situation.
If it doesn't align,
I decline.
Yeah. Yeah.
No is a powerful word, ain't it?
No,
hey,
it's a powerful
God
word.
is. We got it. He gives it to us all, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
He gives it to us
Awesome.
all. So I thank you all for.
Well, I thank you for coming and sharing and all of your energy. I mean, we probably could go on for another half an hour.
We will definitely. This will not be our last time, and we're definitely going to have to reconnect and meet in person. I got to bring Vinson so we can meet you all. You usher us in.
Yes.
We can plan a couple trip somewhere. We can do something during that.
Girl, I like how you talk.
We can do that. Okay.
Listen, let's
break minds and hearts together.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yes.
I love just kindred spirits, and obviously you guys are people of faith. We're people of faith.
We are.
We love the Lord. We love each other. And that's what community is all about. And I was just so inspired when I was just reading a little bit of your background. And I love that, the turning point, right? We all get to that place where this is the turning point. And so Alice Martin says, so inspirational. So inspirational. And so you are. And so
you all are.
So God is good, everybody. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Thank you for your prayers. Michelle, any last words you'd like to share with the audience this evening?
Man, like for the audience, take a moment, do an assessment. Where are you?
Yep.
What needs to change in your life? What do you need to release and let go of?
Yep.
Because you're going to have to be on your A game.
Come on.
As we go into 2025.
Right.
Because we already know it's been written. Right?
It's already written.
It's already written.
It is.
So you got to be on, take an assessment, be on your A game, and put the puzzle pieces in place so that you can manage your own household, so that outside forces can't knock you down. That's my message.
That's your message. I love it. I love it. And I shared the scripture, 2 Corinthians 4 the other day in my Sunday school class, that we're hard pressed on every side, yet not crushed.
Yeah.
Right? We're not in despair. We're all right.
We're all right.
And the thing that I want to tell everyone is that He's not giving us a spirit of fear, but of a sound mind, right? And love and all those things that come with it. And so, I think life is wonderful. It's not without challenges. We know that, right? But it's those challenges that make us strong. As you mentioned, sometimes we have to feel the pain in order to appreciate the peace. We have to feel the pressure in order to really appreciate. If we will never appreciate being at the peak if we've never been through the valley.
Come on.
Right.
So I'm just delighted. Thank you so much. I'm just feel this is what I needed tonight. I needed somebody to just bring a ball of energy and just pick things up. So
You're so
listen,
welcome.
everyone, thank you so much for being here. We will see you next week on the Real Money Coach Show, and our new friend Tiffany Vinson.
Yes.
Now part of
In
the
the green
Real Money
room.
Coach family, right? Now that you
Yes.
adopted, you can't get out.
Hey, I wouldn't have it any other way.
Awesome. Everybody have a wonderful night. We'll see you next week. Stay safe.
Have a good night.
Bye. I think no one let us go tonight.
I know. We finished early, Dante.
He's like, we're so good. He didn't want to let it go.
I know.
I got it. Have a good night, everybody.
Oh, she left.